Oliver and the Secret of the Lost Treasure, The Great Tidying Adventure. One Saturday morning, the sun was trying to filter through the curtains and get inside, but it was having a hard time reaching the floor in Oliver's room. That was because Oliver's room didn't look like a room anymore. It looked more like the kingdom of messy toys. The carpet on the floor was invisible. Covering the carpet was a prickly sea made of colorful building blocks, soft but giant hills made of clothes, slippery bridges made of open storybooks, and toy cars with their wheels facing up. 7-year-old Oliver stood in the middle of his room, hands on his hips, looking around with worry. He couldn't find his favorite toy, the silver spaceship called Star Explorer, anywhere. He looked under the bed. It wasn't there. He looked on the desk. There were only piles of paper and crayons. "Oh no," said Oliver. "Star Explorer is lost. I can't go on a space mission without it." Just then, the door slowly opened, and his mother, Sophie, walked in. Sophie didn't know where to step to enter the room. If she took one step, she would step on a dinosaur. If she took another, she would step on a sock. "Wow," said Sophie, smiling. "Is this a room, or did a hurricane pass through here?" Oliver slumped his shoulders. "Mom, I can't find Star Explorer. I looked everywhere, but it's gone. I think it's lost forever." Sophie stroked Oliver's hair. "Maybe it's not lost, Oliver. Maybe it's just hiding inside this crowd. You know, when things aren't in their places, they think they are playing hide and seek. But sometimes, they can't get out from where they are hiding." Oliver looked around. "But tidying this up will take days. There is too much stuff." His mother winked. "Then let's not see this as boring cleaning. Let's call it a rescue operation. To save Star Explorer and other lost treasures, we first need to organize this wild jungle. Are you in?" Oliver thought, a rescue operation. That sounded fun. "Okay," he said. "Where do we start?" Sophie pointed to the large wicker basket in the corner and the closet door. "Our first mission, conquer Mount Clothes. Look, do you see that hill on your bed and on the floor? Because of that hill, we can't see the carpet." Oliver looked at the pile on the floor. His blue sweater was hanging off the chair, and a single sock was dangling from the desk lamp. "Now," said his mother, "this is a sorting game. The dirty ones, the ones tired from adventure, will go into the laundry basket. The clean ones will be folded and put into the closet to rest." Oliver got to work. First, he picked up his grey sweatpants from the floor. He sniffed them. "Ew, this definitely goes to the laundry basket," he said, and threw it like a basketball into the hamper. Swoosh! Then, he found his green cardigan, which he had taken off last night but was still clean. His mother showed him how to fold the cardigan. Sleeves in, body in half. Just like that. Now it's like a package. When Oliver placed the cardigan on the shelf, he noticed how happy it looked. It wasn't wrinkled, it was relaxed. One by one, t-shirts, pants, and those stray socks found their places. Matching the socks and rolling them into balls was very fun. Every time Oliver combined a pair of socks, he would say, "You've found your brother." About 10 minutes later, the bed and a part of the floor were completely clear. "Look, Mom," said Oliver. "I can see the carpet." There was a red car on the carpet. I had completely forgotten about it. "See," said Sophie. The first treasure has already appeared. But Star Explorer is still lost. We must continue. Next up were the desk and the books scattered on the floor. The books were lying on the ground with their covers open and pages bent. It was a mess, as if they were all trying to talk at the same time. Books don't like sleeping on the floor, Oliver, said Sophie. Their home is the shelves. They like standing up and having the names on their spines read. Oliver picked up the big dinosaur encyclopedia from the floor. He smoothed its pages and gently closed it. I'm sorry, Mr. Dinosaur, he whispered. He put it on the shelf, right next to the space book. Then he started arranging the storybooks by height. Tallest ones at the beginning, shortest ones at the end. When arranged on the shelf, the books stood tall and proud like colorful soldiers. The atmosphere of the room changed instantly. It looked smarter and calmer now. It was time for the paper storm on the desk. Crayons, pencil sharpener shavings, and crumpled papers. Oliver prepared 3 boxes on his desk. Box, trash. Box. Important drawings to keep. Box, pencils and pens. As he put the pencils into their box by color, he hummed, yellow is the color of the sun. Blue is the sky. When his desk was cleared, he saw the wood shining. Wow, my desk is actually huge, said Oliver. I can make a giant drawing here. Yes, said his mother. Order makes room for you to do new things, Oliver. Clutter steals your space. The hardest mission was saved for last. That prickly, colorful sea of blocks in the middle of the room. Stepping on them hurt a lot, and they were all mixed up. Cars were stuck between blocks, and teddy bears were buried under plastic pieces. Sophie arrived with transparent boxes in her hands. Every toy has an address, Oliver. If we don't send them to their addresses, they can't find their homes at night and will get sad. Oliver asked, what is the address for the blocks? That big blue box, said his mother. Oliver got down on his knees. He started gathering the blocks. Clack, clatter, click. The sound of blocks dropping into the box was like music. Oliver used his hands like a scoop, scooping the blocks and pouring them into the box. Then it was time for the plush toys. The basket at the foot of his bed was their home. His favorite bear Bruno, giraffe Ziggy, and rabbit Hoppy. Oliver placed them gently into the basket. You sit here softly, he said. Now that the plushes were all together, it looked like they were having a tea party. The toy cars were parked in their garage, which was the low shelf. All of them lined up, facing out. Oliver made a vroom, stop sound as he parked each one. The floor was now completely clear. That soft, blue carpet seemed to say, thank you, Oliver, I can finally breathe. There was only one place left. The scariest and most mysterious place, under the bed. Oliver crouched down and looked under the bed. It looked dark and dusty. A few dust bunnies and a forgotten slipper were visible. Don't be afraid, said Sophie, holding a flashlight. Let's light up this cave. When they shined the light under the bed, Oliver couldn't believe his eyes. In the far corner, leaning against the wall, something was shining. A silver glimmer. Oliver reached out excitedly. His hand touched a dusty box first, then he pushed it aside and reached the shiny object. When he pulled it out, he shouted with joy. Star Explorer! I found you! The spaceship had slid to the farthest corner of the bed and gotten stuck there. If they hadn't tidied the room this much, it would have been impossible to find it. But that wasn't all. There was something else next to the spaceship. Oliver pulled the dusty box out too. He opened the lid. Inside were the seashells he had collected last summer vacation and the part of the special kite he had made with his dad, which he thought he had lost. "Look, Mum," said Oliver, his eyes sparkling. "I found not only Star Explorer but my memories too." Sophie smiled and hugged Oliver. "You see, tidying doesn't just mean cleaning. Tidying means reclaiming the beautiful things we forgot." Finally, Oliver took a dust cloth. He dusted the shelves, his desk, and the windowsill. When the dust flew away, the items shined as if they were brand new. His mother opened the window. The smell of fresh flowers from the garden and the sound of birds filled the room. Before, the room was so messy that it seemed like even the air didn't want to come in. But now, fresh air was dancing in every corner of the room. Oliver stood at the door of his room and looked inside. There were no obstacles on the floor. The carpet was soft. His bed looked inviting and smooth. His books smiled at him from the shelf, and his toys waited in their boxes for the next game. And his desk was calling him to draw a new picture. The room was no longer a kingdom of chaos. It was now a captain's quarters. Spacious, bright, and peaceful. It was evening. As the sun set, the room filled with an orange glow. Oliver lay down on the carpet in his clean room. He took the rescued Star Explorer with him. Playing was much more enjoyable now, because he had a huge space to fly his spaceship. He glided his ship across the carpet without hitting any obstacles or stepping on anything that hurt. Sophie poked her head in the door. "Oliver, it's getting close to bedtime. But first, I have a surprise for you." His mother came in with 2 cups of hot cocoa and a plate of cookies. They sat at the clean and organized desk. "This room," said Oliver, taking a bite of his cookie, "it feels like it grew, Mom. It was smaller before." "The room is the same room, Oliver," said Sophie. "But you valued it, and it gave you your space back. When you respect your belongings, they serve you. And most importantly, your mind has cleared up just like your room. You don't need to worry about, where is my toy, anymore, because you know where everything is." That night, Oliver put on his pajamas. He threw his dirty clothes into the basket, without his mother needing to remind him. When he got into bed, he pulled the duvet over himself. On the nightstand beside him, Star Explorer was shining. Across from him, his books on the shelf said, "Good night." The carpet on the floor waited silently for the morning. Oliver took a deep breath. His room smelled clean. That feeling of tightness and unease caused by the clutter had completely disappeared. He felt light, responsible, and strong. He had controlled his own space, found his lost treasure, and made his room beautiful. As he closed his eyes, he knew he would dream of traveling to tidy and sparkling planets with Star Explorer. And so, Oliver learned not just how to tidy his room, but how beautiful it feels to respect himself, his belongings, and the space he lives in. Good night, Oliver. Good night, tidy and happy room.